Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Wow. You know what? Let's talk about Liz and Franco for a minute because, once again, sort of like yesterday, Liz disappointed me. At first, she kept sitting there harping yesterday about her not going. Franco's at the party, and he sits there and tells his dad and some other people that Liz isn't going. And I guess Liz is at the hospital, she's talking to her friend, and her friend kind of like says something to remind Liz, like, you're going there to support him. So, Liz actually accepted and, she went to the party. Once again, Liz being Liz, just, wow. Here's the thing. Maxie was there, and for whatever odd reason, she had this really, I don't want to sit there and say for some odd reason, because I know that she had her issues with Franco, but she was going there for the magazine. So I don't understand why out of nowhere she walks up to Franco and she just berates him with this attitude like, oh, you say you're a changed person, you didn't really change, and you're cashing on your notoriety, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, when she left, she went to Peter, and she was like, oh, he's lying, and he's deceiving people, and I'm like, lying and deceiving people? Really? You, okay. I mean, the whole night, you got Lulu was like, so you still didn't tell him? You still didn't tell him yet? And she keeps coming up with these BX excuses left and right. And I'm not going to lie. After a while, I was just like, I started looking at my phone because I was like, alright, so it's going to be one of these episodes where she just doesn't say anything for all these lists of... Listen, I'm not going to sit there and try to act like she doesn't have misgivings about it, but at the end of the day, he has the right to know. And for her to sit there virtue signaling about the whole lying thing, it's like, come on, now you're going to be a hypocrite. Like, really? But yeah, so after the whole Maxi Beret thing, that's when Liz got back on her high horse and was all like, oh, I'm not going to go, and I'm not going to stay, and da 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 da. And, Franco's like, I thought you were here to support me. I don't know. The whole thing just reeked of, like, self-righteousness and, like, just coming from her. It just got really annoying. And at one point, she was like, alright, I'm leaving, like, oh, like, he's expected to go with you, like, he's your dog or something. Like, I don't know. That maybe at that time, I was just feeling some sort of way, but I just didn't like the fact that she just seemed like, oh, well, I'm leaving. Okay, well, there's the door, like, but I don't know, I just didn't really like that whole thing, and of course she stayed a little bit longer so that way she could see the painting, which, I'm not gonna lie, probably didn't turn out the way anyone expected it to. I mean, we didn't see it towards the end, it just seemed like it was something that was, like, gashed over it a little bit, but they didn't really show it. I guess we'll wait till Monday to find out, which is, whatever. So let's talk more about Lulu. Lulu, the other self-righteous woman. So Lulu talks to Nicholas and she starts berating him because at first she's all like, she asks him a question about them connecting and stuff like that, and at first Nicholas is kind of dodgy, and then Lulu's like, oh, so you're not going to tell me, you're not going to be truthful with me or whatever, you're not going to try to fix our relationship? I'm like, I'm sorry, sweetheart, I don't seem like you don't seem like you're really actually doing anything like bridge the gap or anything, but okay, sure, whatever. So Nicholas tells her the plan, and then she gets on her high horse about how you're dragging Spencer into this, and you're being a bad father pretty much, and yada yada yada, and after a while I was just like, okay, alright, another one of Lulu's self-righteous speeches, here we go, and I'm just looking at my phone like, is it over yet? Eventually it did end. She dragged Dustin there. I didn't really feel like he really said anything too important. I mean, he had a moment with Peter and it was asking about, about if Peter wanted to be a father and, So you got some stuff out of Peter, but other than that, I really didn't feel like it was necessary for Justin to actually be there. But yeah, what else? What else happened? Oh, eventually, hold on, let me get something to drink. Fuck it. You know, the whole time Peter is there and he's looking at Maxie and he's asking questions like, is she okay? Yada, yada, yada. She keeps disappearing. She's being very dodgy. And then towards the end, when Lucy was like, you're looking a little pale or whatever, Peter was like, alright, what is going on? And before you sit there and tell me another BS excuse, what's really going on? And that was the thing that really annoyed me. The whole night she's sitting there lying to Peter. Actually, tell you the truth, for the past couple of days she's been lying to Peter. But particularly that night when Maxie was on a high horse, I was like, so you're going to say something, right? And I feel like it's going to be one of those things, because I saw the previews, where Maxie's like, I got something to tell you, and then somebody's going to interrupt it, and it's just going to sit there and drag on for whatever odd reason, which I got my issues about that towards the end of this review. Well, let's talk about Lucy for a little bit, because she just pretty much informed Scott that she sold out the hospital. I mean, in a way she sold out the hospital, but at the same time she felt like the hospital was in some sort of capable hands, as far as Cyrus being, you know, going to be the financial backer. Here's the thing, she kept sitting there telling Scott, like, oh, well, he's not a bad person, and Jordan said that, and Jordan said this, and Jordan said that, and I'm like, come on, seriously? I felt like the whole time she kept sitting there talking about how Cyrus wasn't a bad person, and he's accepting the money, you know, the hospital is going to be taken care of, and that's what really matters. I felt like she was saying that to try to ease her own conscience. To be honest, I really felt like that's really what it came down to. So Scott was getting on her a little bit, and then a lot of other people was getting on her. Maxie was kind of cutting her some slack, because she understood exactly where, like, she was coming from. Also, she was the one that dragged her to the whole painting, like, unveiling. And even when, you know, Lucy wanted to just leave, she was like, no, you're going to stay. But then after that, Maxie was like, alright, well, you can go now, because you're making everyone look bad, so bye. Let's see, what else happened? Oh, yeah, also Nicholas said this really nasty remark to Ava. Here's the thing. I know that Ava, she's done a lot of bad stuff, but she's also done some good stuff too. And that's one of the things that I do like about Ava, is that she's a very complex character. She has her good moments, her bad moments, her in-between moments, and that's one of the things I really like about her. With that being said, the way that Nicholas, what he said about Kiki was just like, Jesus Christ, like, what is wrong with you? I mean, this new version of Nicholas, I'm not gonna lie, he has times where he says things that just go way too far. And that was definitely one of them. Also, there was a point where Ava and Franco was sitting there talking. And then you had Liz in the background just sitting there kind of looking, like, with this judgmental look on her face, like, I'm sorry, are you getting jealous? Like, how many times did Franco see you with Nicholas, and you kept sitting there acting like it just wasn't a big deal? But now you want to sit there and start giving her side eyes? Like, no. No. Just, no. I'm trying not to curse, and sometimes with Liz, she makes it actually really difficult. And one other thing that I'm going to sit there and talk about. 1 second. I normally will get a cup, but at this point, so there's just really no point. One other thing that happened, which was what I like to call the fluff piece, and that's Anna and Finn. And I felt like their scenes was somewhat pointless. But pretty much Anna tries to convince Finn to invite his father to the wedding. And Finn is just like, I don't want to have anything to do with him. And then Anna brings up Violet, talking about, oh, well, it'll be good for Violet to have a relationship with her grandfather, this, that, and the third. And here's the thing. Anna knows, like, why Finn doesn't want to invite him. He knows about that, and yet she's still sitting there trying to play psychiatrist. One second. And yet she's still sitting there trying to play psychiatrist. And I'm like, if he doesn't want to invite her, like, if he doesn't want to invite him, he doesn't want to invite him. Why don't you just drop the subject and let it go? One of the things I find really annoying, and not just about that, but just in general, when somebody's not there trying to give you advice, or trying to play psychiatrist, whatever you want to sit there and call it, and you're like, you know what, listen, it's a very touchy subject, I'd rather just us not talk about it, and then you have that one person that's just going to keep going, that's Anna right there. And I have to tell you the truth, I'm not even gonna lie. It was one point I kind of just blanked out, so I don't even remember if he said that. 1 second. So yeah, I don't even remember if he actually agreed to have Violet, his father come to the wedding, and then she tried to make some sort of comparison about her and her grandchildren and stuff like that. And honestly, tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie, just kind of went over my head a little bit, because I'm like, I get your situation, but that has nothing to do with his situation, so what's your point? And yeah, that's actually really about it. Yeah, that's actually about it. So before I go, and I'm gonna need another drink, because why not? I want to thank everyone who have been watching my videos in general, and who watched my video yesterday. And the reason why I say that is because I felt like yesterday I kind of was like, I don't want to sit there and say I was like kind of speeding through it, but I felt like when I went back and tried to watch, like when I went back and watched it, I was like, why am I talking so fast? And so, like, moving forward, I kind of just want to do, like, I mean, it's still going to be a review, but it's going to be more just kind of talking about it, and not really so much like as in, you know, pinpointing each and every single thing that happened. I think that would be a lot better. I could just talk about some highlights. Pretty much, I think I might have did that today. I feel like I did that today. But yeah, just moving forward, because I don't know. Sometimes I like to try to get my review out as soon as possible, because I don't know what time it is when people watch my reviews. So I don't want to sit there and get out my review at like 9 o'clock and people are just like, oh, it's kind of, it's kind of get ready time for bed. Like, I don't watch a review right now. So, but I kind of realized that I shouldn't be sitting there rushing my reviews, and I just want to take my time and just kind of just talk, because somewhere along the line, like doing my reviews or whatever throughout the week, I enjoy doing it, but sometimes I kind of got to remind myself of why I do these videos, you know? Because it's not for, oh, if I get X amount of views or whatever, you know, for the people that watch, I greatly appreciate it, and I just like to talk about soap operas, really, you know? If it's Days, to be fair, I actually enjoy talking about Days more than I enjoyed watching it, but that is a conversation for another day. My point is that I enjoy talking about soap operas, and, you know, that's why I want to kind of do more just a talking point about different characters and stuff like that, and throughout the episodes, not really so much like, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. Because I felt like I was doing that a lot yesterday. And I might have been doing that today. And I'm just not thinking about it now. And I kind of feel like an ass. But yes, starting Monday, if I did it today, Monday moving forward is just going to be more talking about, you know, the characters and some stuff what happened, and you know, it's kind of keep it more chill instead of just A, B, and C. So anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting and subscribing. I really appreciate people who are rocking with me throughout these videos and just, you know, fun stuff. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Anyway, have a good day, good night, depending on when you're watching this. Be safe. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. Have a good day or good night. And I know I said that. Be safe. I will catch you in the next video.